Hello and welcome. This is my 2012 Ford Focus that I put a 2-liter EcoBoost engine in out of a Ford Escape. And this is my 3,000 mile update video. It's also been, I don't know, a couple of months. Overall, no major drivability issues at all. There is a axle seal leak. It's because the axle bracket on the right side needs to be shimmed a little bit better, so the axle's not 100% perfectly straight going into the transmission. What I've been doing is just topping off the fluid every oil change, every 3,000 miles. And it has not been dropping in fluid level considerably, so that's good. Just top it off. And if you notice here, I do have a check engine light on. I believe I went over what codes those are on one of my last videos where I was building the car. There's a code for the turbo wastegate solenoid, bypass solenoid, evap vent valve, and fuel tank pressure sensor. I believe there's also a network code for the fuel pump driver module. So there's a handful of codes, but the good news is none of them affect drivability or reliability. All it's doing is illuminating the check engine light. So it's a 13-year-old Focus with 250,000 miles on it, so I don't care about a check engine light. But I think in order to fix those, I would just have to overlay or rewire the power sides of those circuits, because they're most likely different, because power sides coming from the SE side, because I have the SE fuse panel on here. And as some of you may know, I do have the Ford Performance Tune, which requires 93 octane. I would say that's a must if you do this swap. That gives it so much more torque, makes it a lot more fun to drive. And yeah, you do have to put premium in it, but if you do a lot of highway driving, you can still get 30 miles per gallon. And I have been pretty easy on it to get that 30 miles per gallon. If I romp on it every time I drive it, then I usually get like 27 miles per gallon in, so I mean not too much less, but yeah. And as you guys know, I do have the FS Works Focus SE Race Cat back on here. The sound is perfect. I was afraid it was going to be too loud because I don't want it to be obnoxious. You hear it? I don't know how well that got picked up there, but after the exhaust is broken in a little bit, it's slightly louder, and I still think it's perfect. I do have factory style downpipe, so I do have catalytic converters, so that will quiet down the exhaust a bit. If you want it to be louder, you can get a catless downpipe. Let's give her a little romp, shall we? I just love digging into that torque at the low end. I don't even really care about giving it full throttle and going as fast as possible. That torque feels the same all the way from like 3,000 RPM all the way on up. So I get all the smiles all the way at the low end. I don't have to crank on it all the way. I do have the Focus ST clutch and flywheel on this car with the 5-speed transmission. And just so you know, it's been working perfectly fine. And of course, I did use the 5-speed slave cylinder. Everything's working out fine with that. I do regret getting that $300 eBay intercooler on here. Due to fitment, this bumper doesn't fully seat on the bottom anymore, and it's kind of bowed out, and these two trim pieces aren't fully seated anymore, just because the bumper doesn't fully stretch out underneath it. So I would keep the factory intercooler. I believe the only reason that would come in handy is if you're racing the car, then your intake temps won't go up like that, because the factory style heat exchanger does heat soak, and if you're under full boost, then the temps are going to go like that. Anyway, another thing that I noticed somebody in our Discord did when they did the swap was use the SE engine mount. And they only used these two studs here, which is pretty incredible because you can save a few $100s that way. I had to buy that mount, which was $240, Damon Motorsports. And then I had to get the bottom of the mount fabricated right here. I had to have a little more metal welded on there. Otherwise, if you follow the swap series, I do think this is a viable option. Makes the car a lot more fun. This engine works well with the 5-speed. Definitely follow the series though, and that one video I have in the series called Pairing an MTX 75 and a 2-liter EcoBoost Tips and Advice. That video is a necessity if you're doing the swap. It'll make your life a lot more manageable. Oh, I got frustrated, but I learned a lot, and I wanted to share it with you guys there. And another very important thing if you do the swap here is routing your blow-off valve to true vacuum and capping it off right here. Because of the codes that are set on there for the turbo bypass valve and wastegate solenoid codes, I do believe if the blow-off valve were routed to the solenoid still, that there could be an issue with opening the blow-off valve and releasing the pressure, which could blow things up because of the power side circuit issues to those turbo thingies. So once again, I got it routed to True Vacuum there. I do like the sound of this air filter here. Got the inverted cone right there. I've got this RS style air box lid. Got this all on Amazon for about 95 bucks, this lid and this filter here. And I do think that is a great substitute for a cold air intake, so you don't have to spend $400 or whatever on a cold air intake. You just use the factory air box and do that. And it sounds good. And it's still got a hard pipe on it. Still gonna have some of that good hard pipe sound. So, and again, if you didn't catch it on the swap series, I did have to wire the power side into the coils on one of the wires on that connector in there. It's in the video how to do that. That's working out fine. No issues there. Yeah, overall, everything worked out great. Guys, I sure do hope you like the series. Hope you do the series yourself. It makes the car a lot of fun. Oh, and I've heard of somebody doing a 6-speed swap on one of these, and it was the transmission was hitting the steering gear. I don't know. There might be a difference on the ST with the steering gear to prevent interference. It might be a different size or made different. But if you put a 6-speed in here, just, you know, keep in mind you might have to do some other work to make the transmission fit. You know, get a different steering gear or subframe. Haven't looked much into that, but all right. You guys have a great day. Let me know if you got any questions down below for the series. And bye-bye.